feels weird to just do a rant, or I guess in this particular case, a vent video. I don't even remember the last one I've done, but I feel like at the same time it's kind of long overdue to do one, and I don't like doing these type of videos, mainly because it's just me, nothing really to, I guess, like, grab onto in terms of attention, and we're not talking about anything lolly related, we're not really talking about anything channel related to a high extent. It's just, I guess, basically it's just like an open book diary, essentially. Unfiltered, just straight dialogue conversation with myself, and it's never really been something I am proud of to do when it comes to these videos, mainly because, again, it's not the content that you probably want to see, it's not anything that you probably care about, and at the end of the day, it's probably just, yo, let's just skip this one and then just see, you know, the other ones where it actually matters with certain dialogues. Now, some of you guys actually do obviously care, and I do appreciate that, and I get it, but at the very same time, it's still not something I don't like committing to, mainly because I guess it's like, well, F it. Let's throw all our insecurities and all of our problems out into the wind, and let's just see it do absolutely nothing, because that's exactly what these videos do. And then there's another part of my brain where it's like, well, you do this and yay, you just wasted a whole video for a day. Now, essentially, you got nothing else to do except do other stuff, and you could have prepared like a video that actually could matter and actually got some better viewership and things of sort like that. And that's mainly where my brain is for these type of things. But at the same time, when you have a lot of stuff that I guess it just isn't sitting right with you, you kind of need to get it out in some shape or form. And that's what this channel has always been to me, a place to get out my frustrations plus freedoms, and where I can act overly different than where I usually am quiet for the most part in my, you know, normal, natural life, essentially. It's a place where I get to just open up about pretty much anything I want to, not necessarily having to be force-fed dialogue or basically just listening to other people yap about whatever they want to yap about, and just kind of talk about whatever I feel like talking about. And that's the biggest thing about the channel for me that I really enjoy, is just the freedom to kind of say almost anything I really want to. But that being said, I don't want to be just an overbearing person and just share everything and just, you know, throw everything caution to the wind, because obviously that's kind of a lot for people to kind of take in as well. So I don't want to necessarily do that. But for, I guess, the sake of this video and just the sake of just any future venting videos I decide to do, I hope these videos will kind of be something that people can watch at times, or at least listen to, and essentially kind of, you know, maybe, I guess, use it for their own lives as well, to kind of be like, huh, I guess I'm not the only person that's going through this, or I guess I'm not the only person that's having failure in their life, or essentially not necessarily holding themselves up to a high standard, or whatever the case may be, and just kind of use them as a point of reference and kind of hopefully better yourself as, you know, time goes on. And that's just, I guess, what I would want these venting videos to kind of be, you know? And granted, we have done a crap ton of these venting videos, right? From me stressing that I don't want to go to college and, you know, finish that up because I really truly believe that this was like the thing I wanted to do, to actually getting to that point in the most weird way possible, and probably the most bad way possible. But still, I kind of got what I wanted at the end, but it's just a fat ass monkey's paw that just slapped me in the face. So I guess there was that. But then at the very same time, I didn't really plan out everything that I really needed to. Let's say, for example, the biggest thing that plagues humanity when it's greatest decision-making things ever: money. Obviously, it's a huge thing, and the moment someone says that word, you pretty much want to just turn your nose away from it and just completely go the other way, which I am the very same way. I do not care. We could burn all types of money across the universe. Bet we could do that. Make sure everybody get what they need just to, you know, kind of survive. Sounds perfect for me. But obviously, it doesn't really work like that, which is why I've decided to also go ahead and throw up the Kofi, which, you know, kind of started doing membership like a day or two ago and trying to fix that up, which there is, I guess, like the uncensored Kokatsu stuff, at least when it comes to the story, so you can kind of download the videos and watch that. But at the very same time, I know that's not everything that people want to go and see. But we'll sort that out when we get to that point. But my point is, though, it has been possibly the most irksome thing I ever had to deal with, because I'll just keep it very much a stack and be completely transparent with you. Doing this channel is easily the happiest thing I can honestly do. It's easily one of the greatest, funnest, and honestly more entertaining things I've ever really done. And to give very much that, I don't want to do anything else. But there's many obstacles in the way that keeps me from fully enjoying this, and there's obviously obstacles in the way that possibly, if once I really just set them out on the table for you to see, yeah, you'll probably say, yeah, Jay, you're pretty much being stupid as hell, you really need to kind of do better. And I completely understand that, but when you believe in something so passionately, basically kind of having, I guess, main character syndrome or whatever the hell this is, essentially you just feel like you know you can do it and you should be able to. That's kind of where I'm at when it comes down to life in general, right? And it's kind of like, yeah, there's determination and stubbornness there, but there's also so much I feel like I've lost as well too. Like, for example, I know probably the biggest thing that probably a lot of people would say is that, do you have a job? Are you employed? No, I never been employed. In fact, the only times I ever worked a job, quote unquote, is when I worked with my dad when it came down to handyman work. And obviously it's the fat thing I don't really want to do. And thankfully I haven't been doing it because it's just hard work, and his dad did it before and he passed away pretty early because of doing all that super hard work. And my dad is basically pushing himself to that point, and I hate it. And what makes you think I want to just go out there and do the same type of work, going on roofs all day and, you know, lifting heavy shit and things of the sort like that? You think that's something that's good for a long period of time, and then get into a crazy amount of debt or be into basically a crappy situation where you can't move anywhere? It's not necessarily good. So of course I didn't want to do that. But at the very same time, someone could easily say, well, you gotta do something. And trust me, I hear that constantly. I absolutely hear that every single dang day for basically the most part. And it's, you know, I get it. Obviously, I get it. I understand why. You gotta pay your taxes in. You gotta basically, you know, like, do things like for retirement and stuff in the future. And you probably want to get other things as well. And then there's also the fight with the, oh, it's not about what you want to do, it's all about what you need to do. And I completely understand basically all of that. But at the very same time, there's a part of me that is just so strong not wanting to do that, to the point it's like, well, I just feel like I can't. And to keep very much aside, it's not that I can't do anything or can't work a job or, you know, really go ahead with it, because obviously I can. Like, I've done lots of things before, but it's also at the same time where it's like, I guess I'm a bit afraid to kind of let this go out of my hands for so much a time, because I really like, again, doing content creation. It's the best thing for me to do. But at the very same time, it's kind of not necessarily been, I guess, fruitful in a way. Like, I'm absolutely grateful that there is like over 3,000 plus people here. No one in I can definitely say this for sure, no one in my family has ever achieved a feat like this. So this is something pretty great. And we're honestly kind of getting closer to 4,000, which is amazing. But at the very same time, you know, when you look at the bigger scale of other content creators and things of sort like that, these numbers obviously don't do a lot in terms of, like, you know, opportunities and doors to be open and stuff like that. And again, it's not me trying to put down the work I've done or put down things to just being like, oh, the numbers don't, you know, do what I need it to do. Nothing like that. It's just like, I'm just not there. And that's just genuinely kind of how it is. Hell, before I even started to, like, even, you know, I guess record content and even made things before I started, you know, doing a lot of this YouTube stuff, Honestly, I thought I was gonna just go into graphic design. That's literally what I thought I was gonna do because everybody else was gonna do it, and that was the market at the time when we had to kind of pick out careers and whatever. Be like, yeah, the graphic design spot is basically where everybody's at. And I don't know if that's true anymore, considering how many people are getting laid off and all that other type of stuff. Granted, you could still have people come through at graphic designs, but now with AI also kicking in, I don't even know if that was a smart choice to go into that field anymore. Sure, it might have been sustainable for a few years, but now I honestly don't know. And it's kind of like I'm locked in all directions, right? So I don't know, maybe this was the right path, but I don't really see anything that seems to be working, right? And speaking of work, I've looked through countless of jobs and looked through countless of things, and there's really a few things that always hold me back on it. One is that, well, there's things that obviously I just can't do, like, doing like medical stuff, and there's certain types of construction things that people want to use, and hell, there's things that you have to keep track of in terms of like, I don't want to say inventory, but like, I guess like managing deals and stuff like that. And just like, well, I obviously can't do anything like that. I've never been good at keeping track of things. I suck at math, but at the same time, there is also other things like obviously grocery shopping, like type of person, like I guess cashier or whatever, and stuff like that. And for like $10 or maybe 12 at times, and that's it, isn't it? That's kind of all I got to choose from. And every time I kind of look for those type of like places, or essentially when I think, you know what, maybe I'll just do it, I can't. Because for whatever, and this is probably just a pride thing I have, which I didn't realize until now. I don't want to be just underneath somebody's whole ass leadership. Or I don't want to also work something and just immediately get tired of it and just, kind of quit like before even the first month is done. Because that's kind of how I envision like a lot of this stuff. Essentially, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna bust my ass to do this just, for a little while, and then, pretty much quit off that because, I don't really care for it. And I don't. And that's literally how I feel to pretty much everything that isn't what you're hearing right now. It's essentially just, yeah, I really don't care for a lot of this stuff. And there's nothing I care for to do that makes me want to just get up, go ahead, do the thing, and just go on, right? And I know that's incredibly prideful, and that's incredibly probably toxic too, to kind of have that mindset all the time, and instead of just saying, F it, just do it until, things get better. But then when is that gonna be? It's like, I don't necessarily know when that's going to come through. How many times, or days, or months, or years even, am I gonna have to work the same stupid ass job just to see if things get better? And things might not even get better. I just might be skin slayed away. Who says I won't get laid off either? Because that's a whole damn thing that can happen now. It's just a lot that I think about a lot of the time. And it's just frustrating that the one damn thing I really like to do, and I'm really enjoying, the one damn thing I feel like I was assigned to do by something higher than myself, that it just isn't clicking. Or it hasn't clicked for 5 years, and things are sort of like that. And honestly, even when I was looking at Rima's whole video when she was looking at our video for like the VTuber thing, I felt a bit of a shame on myself a little bit, mainly because I was going on and on about the things I need and the things I want and stuff like that, and how years later I still wasn't really able to get it. Like hell, there's been times recently where I'm just like, man. It would be dope as hell if I could just sit here and I can actually just go out and get, the type of food that I actually would like to go get just for fun, or order out whenever I feel like it. I just can't though. And things are sort of like that, which brings me back to my channel. And ultimately, again, after so long of doing this, I've lost track of so many things, and I've lost a lot of things as well. I wasn't even going to say this, but I'll go ahead and say it. Essentially, even with, like, trying to go ahead, try to be something here, I've lost out on friends too. Like, friends that were close as well. I don't even remember the last time I was talked to anybody in real life, if I'm being honest. But that's because I was like, oh, I'm chasing the bag. We gotta do this. We're all chasing the bag together, and we all collectively agreed. Only for that to just not be true in my case, I suppose. And it's been torture for me to kind of just sit here every day, wake up, get on a computer, kind of do stuff, and then I guess play a game for like an hour or two and kind of go back to sleep and repeat the process for 5 whole years. Essentially, minus like the whole, I guess the first 2 to maybe 3 years of college when I was trying for that, but that didn't work out and things and sort of like that. It's just like, it just feels like a giant sacrifice, and it feels like it's kind of been for nothing, which is a bit crazy for me to say, considering, again, there has been movement here, but not anything noticeable. And I don't want to put out the impression that, oh, I just absolutely hate everything sucks, depression, why, and all that type of stuff, or I basically regret making this channel or anything like that, because I absolutely don't. Again, one thing you will definitely learn about me, if you haven't learned already, is that I am quite stubborn when it comes to many things I truthfully care about. Like, for instance, when it comes down to this whole situation, when it's this channel, I had moments where I thought, yeah, this is not working out in the way I thought this would. I probably shouldn't necessarily continue to try as hard after X amount of time. But then as I kind of thought about that, it's like, no way, dude. And essentially even now, it's like, again, 3,000 people know who the hell you are. That's 3,000 people that possibly, the average person is not even going to meet in their lifetime. And you want to give that up? And then at the same time, it also doesn't help when you constantly see other people living the best life, living everything good, and definitely are people that don't deserve it because they're assholes at times. And then there's people that just do really cool things that it's like, well, I could do that as well, or I should be able to. There's dreams I like to accomplish, and that's pretty much the set piece for me wanting to continue. Right? There's things I want to do. There's places I would like to go. And hell, there's people that I would like to reach at times. And there's just so much. There's so much that, honestly, now that I keep talking out loud, it's kind of just pouring out, and it's making me more mad, more frustrated, and more determined to really do this. Despite the difficulties of just straight up not having anything ready to just kind of, help myself out when it comes down to, I guess, taking care of other things that I probably should. Once again, your senpai is not perfect. He's definitely a trash individual. He's definitely an individual that has been holding a lot of things in for a long period of time. And it's not great to look underneath everything, right? There's really no way to kind of just, I guess, perceive me in, I guess, a way where it's like there's just nothing but positivity there, because there absolutely isn't. Granted, I wasn't trying to hide it in the first place, but at the same time, it's just like, yeah, it gets to a point where it's just it's a bit much, and this is why we have videos like this where we rant and vent about life and just the tiring nature of it, and all that type of stuff. But my basic point is essentially, for me right now, I know exactly where I want to go. I know exactly what I want to do. I know exactly the ideas I have that I would like to put out there into the universe that is fun for me to kind of do. And I feel like, again, content creation and drawing other pictures and trying to get better at that and speaking my mind is very much the 3 God-given things I'm supposed to use to actually achieve something. It's just the other things that get in that way, right? And mainly it's more so a money situation. And I can't stand that it is a money situation, because it's been plaguing my family for really ever since before I was born. And it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. And that's why I feel like everything, when it comes down to it, YouTube could be a best shot at that. considering every other plan my family tries to do ends up failing, like starting a business online or even writing a book, which is definitely out there, and that hasn't really gotten any attention for, my mom and such. Then there's also like the fact that there is like, plenty of other ideas like, yard sales, and then I have to keep reminding my mom that, maybe things might not work out the way you think it is, but she goes ahead anyway. And so I have to constantly deal with that, and it's not easy. So hopefully you get a point or an idea of why I'm trying to do all this, or doing all of this and basically placing my hope into it. Because really, with the mortgage and the bills constantly and just everything else in general, it's like, I'm not gonna sit here and lie. A regular job is not gonna necessarily fix everything. It's not. And then with obviously only having a high school degree and then really didn't even finish community college, where the hell am I supposed to go and turn to? And this might be the ultimate key that I can absolutely use. And so that's why I dedicated 5 years plus of my whole existence in terms of the content creation space to just be something, right? And just do something. And I know everybody is probably looking at me like, damn it, Jay, you need to do way better. And I absolutely agree with that. And I see that clearly. Hey, I can at least say to myself, I'm pretty shitty and I'm not necessarily in the best place, but I can at least see that, yes, this is where I am. This is what I'm at. And this is kind of how things are. I absolutely see that. But then there's also that part of me that's pretty much hyped up on crack energy that is like, yes, no, we don't have to be this place. We don't have to stay here. And essentially, you don't have to continue to be the shitty person that you feel like you need to be. You can definitely achieve those dreams. If other people can do it, if the most evilest people on this planet can absolutely do it, then there's no reason why you can't. The fact that you have this many people to come back at a time and you get these random boosts in different sort of videos that we do, very much that goes to show you that there is something here. Plenty of people has told you that there is potential here, but you just haven't gotten to it yet. And I don't know if it's a timing thing or, if the universe just don't really like me or whatever, but at the very same time, I don't want this to be something I give up. Again, when it comes to me, I don't really give up on anything unless I know it's just like a straight up impossible task. But something like this, it feels impossible, but I know it isn't. And that's the reason why I never really gave up on creating content and, pushing forward. That's just kind of how it is. Like, I need to prove this to myself that I can actually do this. And then at the very same time, prove to not just me, but my family that this is something that I can do. I know it don't look like it now, and I know it sucks. I understand. I'm pretty much feeling like a burden a lot of the time. I get it. But I know I can do this. And maybe I'm going into this with a wrong energy. Maybe I'm being absolutely stupid. I don't know. I just know what I feel like this is what I need to do. I know this is something that I can do. It's just gonna come through and take the right person to, really, see this or boost it up in some way or whatever is gonna have to happen, because like, I'm trying, dude. It's not an easy task to run a channel, much less trying to, keep this going, as well as dealing with the negativity constantly slapped at you, which rightfully deserved at the same time. It's just an uphill battle. But yeah, I guess the reason also why I'm doing a venting video is also because I was watching Char5 kind of do a video on everything wrong with Xiao's generations that he dropped literally like a few hours ago. And I agreed with everything he felt in that video, with the past selves that he kind of had, and how he was struggling for a long time, and how things ain't where he wanted to be, and stuff like that. Because everything that he's basically saying, for the most part, is everything that I feel right now, and it's not a good place to feel. So, yeah, that's why I don't do venting videos like this, or try not to. because again, it's just gonna be me yapping over things that you probably already gonna guess, things that you probably don't really want to hear and stuff like that. And it just, I get it, I do, and it's probably just me being absolutely stubborn, trying to chase this whole dream of just becoming a content creator and stuff like that. And I know how people can kind of be when it comes down to, oh, hearing something like this and then seeing how many content creators are just assholes or don't care and just kind of have their opinions and don't think about it in this way or this way or this way. And you probably could just end up being the same way, and you're not wrong. That could be very much a real possibility. But I don't want to be. Hell, there's been multiple times where I'm like, yo, if I ever become this way, call me out on it, because that's not what I was supposed to have been. And that's just kind of how it is. But I guess the point of this video is essentially, I genuinely love doing this, and by all logic and all reason, I should definitely possibly try something else and continue to work towards something else in a different way than this. But I can't help it. It's just literally the only thing I feel like I want to do. It's the only thing I know I want to do. And the fact that I can't really, do this in peace and do this in a stable situation, it annoys me greatly. It's possibly the biggest thing that annoys me right now in this current moment in time than anything else. I like doing this. It just, again, it's the best thing in the universe to me. It's just not stable, I guess, when it comes down to mainly the financial part of things. So that's why, I throw Kofi up at times when it comes down to it, because sure, I'm probably should do something else to get funds and whatever, but at the same time, it just I don't know. I really don't know, but I don't know what, I kind of just don't know what to, I know what to do, and again, I know where to go, but it's just like nothing is letting me progress into a major way, and it's annoying. I guess that's what I really want to say, right? But I guess that's really about it. You're probably also hearing a plane in the background because, yeah, of course, that happens literally pretty much every time I record. F you, plane. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna let y'all go and get out your hair now, because you're probably forming all kinds of opinions listening to this if you care to. And yeah, I don't blame you for whatever you probably feel. I don't blame you, because I don't even know what I am half the time. And there is that. So, I'm a bit confused too. Jason 5 Explorer is literally, to me, like a knight in shining armor. The perfect version of what I would like to be. Someone that's not perfect, but someone that's so much better than what current me is. And I can't help but to feel like I'm holding myself to that type of level. And I haven't gotten that. I'm like maybe 1% that. Maybe, I guess if we're going to be maybe a bit more realistic, 11% that. But nowhere near close to the 100% status as I should be, So that just kind of how it is to me as well. But yeah, that's really, I guess, all I wanted to say for this one. This is a very much deeper thought process of a video than I thought I was going to talk about and do. And easily, I can very much see a lot of people, or a fair amount of people, coming through and being like, you should do this and you should do that. And I probably am going to agree, and I probably am not going to take any advice, because that's how dumb and stubborn I can get. Again, this channel just means a lot, and I really want to push this channel as far and as hard as I could possibly go. And it just means everything to me. Really, it does. And I'm hoping I can figure things out. A sponsor too. Like, I sent like a few emails to a few people, and they have not replied back, and it sucks. And it's just not an easy time. It's really not. And just seeing things just stagnate around the channel, or seeing things just not moving as fast as I would like it to, it's definitely not easy. Or at least having something to kind of like even again, like hold for the stability for finances and things and stuff like that, that would do. But that's far and few in between, and I don't know why. But yeah, this is probably the most transparent I ever been, and hopefully I ever be, because I don't want to do a video like this again anytime soon. Because I hate it. Genuinely, I'm probably not gonna listen to back. I'm just gonna let this thing go, and whatever you get is whatever you get. So yeah, that's really all I want to say for this one. So again, hopefully you did enjoy or whatever. Essentially, um, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification way outs, socials, and Kofi and all that jazz. And until then, it's been Boy J. Hopefully, the next video will be, less crazy and like this, and hopefully, I don't see this type of version of myself again for a long period of time, because I don't really want this version of myself to be a constant thing. I would like to be something better, but we'll have to see what the future holds. But until then, it's Boy J, sign off. Have a blessed day.